Krishna, Part 3. When we come to that non attachment, then we can understand the marvelous mystery of the universe. How it is intense activity and vibration, and at the same time intense peace and calm. How it is work every moment and rest every moment. That is the mystery of the universe, the impersonal and personal in one, the infinite and finite in one. Then we shall find the secret. He who finds in the midst of intense activity the greatest rest, and in the midst of the greatest rest, intense activity, he has become a yogi. He alone is the real worker, none else. We do a little work and break ourselves. Why? We become attached to that work. If we do not become attached, side by side with it, we have infinite rest. How hard it is to arrive at that sort of non attachment. Therefore, Krishna shows us the lower ways and methods. The easiest way for everyone is to do his or her own work and not take the results. It is our desire that binds us. If we take the results of actions, whether good or evil, we will have to bear them. But if we work not for ourselves, but all for the glory of the Lord, the results will take care of themselves. To work you have the right, but not to the fruits thereof. The soldier works for no results. He does his duty. If defeat comes, it belongs to the general, not to the soldier. We do our duty for love's sake, love for the general, love for the Lord. If you are strong, take up the Vedanta philosophy and be independent. If you cannot do that, worship God. If not, worship some image. If you lack strength even to do that, do some good works without the idea of gain. Offer everything you have onto the service of the Lord. Fight on. Leaves and water and one flower. Whosoever lays anything on my altar, I receive it with equal delights. If you cannot do anything, not a single good work, then take refuge in the Lord. The Lord resides within the heart of the being, making them turn upon his wheel. Do thou with all thy soul and heart take refuge in him. These are some of the general ideas that Krishna preached on his idea of love in the Gita. There are in other great books sermons on love, as with Buddha, as with Jesus. A few words about the life of Krishna. There is a great deal of similarity between the lives of Jesus and Krishna. A discussion is going on as to which borrowed of the other. There was the tyrannical king in both places. Both were born in a manger. The parents were bound in both cases. Both were saved by angels. In both cases, all the boys born that year were killed. The childhood is the same. Again, in the end, both were killed. Krishna was killed by accident. He took the man who killed him to heaven. Christ was killed and blessed the robber that took him to heaven. There are a great many similarities in the teachings of the New Testament and the Gita. The human thought goes the same way. I will find you the answer in the words of Krishna himself. Whenever virtue subsides and irreligion prevails, I come down. Again and again I come. Therefore, whenever thou seest a great soul struggling to uplift mankind, know that I am come, and worship. At the same time, if he comes as Jesus or as Buddha, why is there so much schism? The preachings must be followed. A Hindu devotee would say, it is God himself that became Christ and Krishna and Buddha and all these great teachers. A Hindu philosopher would say, these are the great souls. They are already free. And though free, they refuse to accept their liberation while the whole world is suffering. They come again and again, take a human embodiment and help mankind. They know from their childhood what they are and what they come for. They do not come through bondage like we do. They come out of their own free will and cannot help having tremendous spiritual power. We cannot resist it. The vast mass of mankind is dragged into the whirlpool of spirituality, and the vibration goes on and on because one of these great souls gives a push. So it continues until all mankind is liberated and the play of this planet is finished. Glory unto the great souls whose lives we have been studying. They are the living gods of the world. They are the persons whom we ought to worship. If he comes to me, I can only recognize him if he takes a human form. He is everywhere, but do we see him? We can only see him if he takes the limitation of man. If men and animals are manifestations of God, these teachers of mankind are leaders, are gurus. Therefore, salutations unto you, whose footstool is worshipped by angels. Salutations unto you, leaders of the human race. Salutations unto you, great teachers. You leaders have our salutations forever and ever.